The pandemic is emptying call centers. AI chatbots or digital assistants are taking the control of customer service. COVID-19 is accelerating digital transformation in an industry that was already automating work at rapid pace. Now let's listen to intro.
Welcome to the OTech Talks podcast, where it's all about working on technologies. You will hear the latest tech information, and your host, Kashif Manzoor, brings together product overviews, how-tos, best practices, tips and tricks, and troubleshooting techniques.
Welcome to OTech Talks podcast. This is session number 71, and we will be having a guest speaker today who is going to talk on his startup journey on the digital assistants. If you're new to the show, Open Tech Talks is your weekly sandbox for technology insights, experimentation, and inspiration with the primary objective of learning and sharing. This is your host Kashif Manzoor. We will be talking to our guest speaker, but before we'll go and invite him, let's understand the chatbots basics or the digital assistants, what's happening in our industry. This is one of the emerging technology. And if we will link to this to the COVID-19, governments and businesses are deploying a digital assistants or chatbots to address a citizens' customers' most common questions. For example, how to identify symptoms of COVID-19 or how to get tested, where the testing facilities available, a number of questions. What are the common questions coming as a consumer or as a citizen in mind? These chatbots are making easy for the agencies, for the government departments to update and expand the chatbot's responses as queries evolved. It learns. The more you interact, the more citizen will interact, it will learn. This has all happened to handle the influx of calls which has resulted due to coronavirus crisis. This is what is happening, starting from grocery stores, retail outlets, banks to healthcare providers. Everyone started exploring how they can use digital assistants, chatbots to manage this unprecedented times. Number of hospitals are trying to find ways how they can deploy a conversational mobile chatbot to help with intake forms and remote check-ins for both in-person and telehealth visits. And as you have seen, or you're a bit seeing that one of the top category of business, which is telehealth, it is going into exploration. Rather than sitting as staff and facing the patients in front desk in the hospital's clinics, this is what's all happening. To avoid a direct contact due to COVID-19, these chatbots will be able to give patients advice when they're using telemedicine or telehealth, and when they're coming to physical locations like to the clinics or hospitals, chatbots will be able to tell patients when to go directly into your physician room, or the general guidance, navigation to the clinic, or even traditional way of, you come to the hospital and then you need to fill the form, reading instructions and waiting for a physician room when it's getting ready. So all these type of common questions can be and being automated with the digital assistants chatbots. Now that's what's happening on the technology point of view with the digital assistants or chatbots. If you're new to the show, you haven't already attended it, I think if you want to learn the basics, we have covered in July 2017 Chatbots Basics 101, the role of natural language processing, artificial intelligence and machine learning. That's available as earlier session in the OTech Talk podcast. You can listen that one and you will get the basics of that one. But with this session, I thought to cover the very basics of that. What are the chatbots and how these chatbots work? So the chatbots and artificial intelligence, software that can simulate conversation or a chat with a user in natural language through either a messaging application or website or mobile app. And why it's important that you already understood from our opening points, that how it's helping even during COVID-19, and why the companies, governments, and hospitals started using it. The chatbot is often described as one of the most advanced and promising expressions of interaction between human and machines. And from a technological point of view, chatbot only represents the natural evolution of question answering system leveraging natural processing, NLP, which is natural language processing. So how chatbot works? The two different tasks that are core of the chatbots. It's a user request analysis and then returning the response. It's like analyze the request, identify intent and entities, and compose a reply. Now, when the user request analysis this is the first task which the chatbot performs. It analyzes the user's request to identify the user intent and to extract relevant entities. This is the ability to identify user's intent and the extract of the data is the first condition or the first check where you will be doing it what actually user is looking for. And then you need to return the response. So once the user's intent is identified, the chatbot must provide the most appropriate response for the user's request. It can be a predefined text. It can be retrieved from the knowledge base or from the text or from your how-to guides. Or it can be contextualized information based on the data. It can be data stored into any enterprise applications or ERPs or CRMs. So different ways. And the importance of chatbots, you already understood why it's now or why it's helping the organizations to achieve it. Now, there are different types of chatbots. If you go into our earlier session, and you will understand, very, very basic chatbots and then advanced with the natural language processing and AI capabilities. Pre-designed roles, and then it based on those roles it defines. And then there are NLP or AI chatbots where they analyze the request, identify, and then compose a report for reply to that one. There are a number of organizations using even when the initial conversation is with the chatbots, but then they hand over the control to the humans. So that's was just a basic, examples of the chatbots, how they are working on it. And then I think what you need to do is, if you want to get more information on the chatbots or digital assistants, just head over to our earlier session and listen to that session. You will get all the information on the chatbots. Now let's go back to our guest speaker, and let's welcome our guest speaker of today, which is Tariq Usman, founder of Yanzu. And this is again with relevant to our topic, where Yanzu is a service which is personalized to each and every one. It's a virtual assistant. It can, do your shopping. It can book your car. It can give your, a different like ad hoc tasks. And I think more we will hear from Tariq Usman. Let's welcome him. So today we have our guest Tariq Usman. He's managing Text Yanzu. That's a new startup. So I think before I will say something, we will invite Tariq to share his journey, how he has started, how he has become entrepreneur, and what leads him to run or to start a business, or what he was doing before starting a business. So welcome, Tariq. Can you give us some intro? What leads you to start this business, Yanzu? What inspired you to be a Yanzu?
Thank you so much for having me. So let me start with a brief introduction. What is Yanzu? Yanzu is an on-demand concierge. You send us a WhatsApp message saying, hey guys, I need this to be done, and we will do it for you. It's a sort of a personal assistant on WhatsApp. So we can do it all from doing any retail shopping for you. We can buy something from the mall for you. If you don't know where to buy it from, just let us know and we will sort this out for you. We do bookings, we do retail, services, and food. So simply, it's a one-stop shop on WhatsApp. It's your personal assistant. Hey guys, I need this. We will figure out how to get it done.
Right.
How it all started? It all started, to be honest, from a personal need. The three co-founders, me and my partners, we met in a bank, and we were in our job in a bank, and we were doing our graduate studies in parallel. Right. So we were overworked, and we need more time to actually spend on doing our studies, doing our research papers and submissions. So we didn't have enough time for our personal errands. And these errands might not be value adding to your life. You don't see them as important, but you need them. Errands such as fixing your phone screen, having an issue with the fridge at your place, taking your car to the service, taking your dog to the vet, sending flowers to a friend in the hospital. All of these are errands. You don't see them taking away from you don't see them adding to your growth, but right. You need them. You need them for life to go on. Yeah. So we thought of why not have a central location or a central person who would do this for many people and split the cost. And then we started looking internationally. We actually found few startups in the US and in Europe who were doing the same thing, and they were really successful. Some right. of them at the time, and some of them were getting acquired by major multinationals. So we saw the potential, and we saw that if it's doable, someone have done it before, then the technology is available. It's now up to us. We know that there is demand for it in the Middle East, because we're not the only three who are suffering from this or having this issue. So let's figure out a way to do it in the UAE as a start, and then go across the region.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay, so this is a common requirement. I mean, as you rightly said, that we don't feel it, that there are some tasks, there are some efforts, but eventually everyone need to book their shopping, bills, cars. The way you gave an example, that's true.
Yes, exactly. And we thought that I'd rather put my time, energy, and focus on things that will help me grow and develop, or even enjoy my time. So I'd rather spend my time spending some quality time with family and friends, rather than actually spending some time at the workshop, making sure that my car is being fixed properly. Mm-hmm. So this is the choices that you have to do on a daily basis, that some of them will help increase the utility of your life and make sure that you're growing, enjoying life. And Yandu is here to help you to take care of the rest, everything else, and with the proper quality standards that you personally would be looking for. So Yandu is very personalized, and we do look at a lot of trying to make sure that the request is being fulfilled in the way that would fit you personally. Your requirements are different than mine. So we'll ask you a few questions on the conversation. That's why it's a conversation. That's why it's on WhatsApp. It's not a drop-down menu, because the personalization factor is needed. We'll ask you a few questions. Understand? Let's say you're asking for flower bouquet.
All right.
To send it to a friend who just had a baby. Mm-hmm. What would you have a budget in mind? You have a specific color, let's say, of the flowers. All of these questions, you will find them on drop-down menus, but it's not as easy to navigate. So if you just drop us a text saying, hey guys, I'm looking for a flower bouquet for 200 dirham to be delivered to this hospital today.
Mm-hmm. All right.
That's it. Now you have done all the efforts that you need to do. Mm-hmm. Right. Yanzu will source multiple options, and we'll share these options with you. So we'll give you 3 options. We'll say, option 1 is for 180 dirham, and option 2 is for 190, option 3 is for 200. Choose one, and we'll send you pictures, photos of the 3 options. Which one would you prefer? And based on that option that you choose, we will charge you online. So it's similar to Uber and Careem model. Once you select the trip, they'll charge you. Once you decide on the pickup point and the destination, once you decide on which option you will choose, we will charge you, and that's it. You're done. No effort to be done from your side. Couple of hours later, you will receive a text saying your order has been fulfilled.
Right. So when you say it's personalized, so are the person sitting behind who are interacting when I send a message? So, or is it technology or some digital assistant you're using, or how the process works? So if I send a message to you, so is there a human being sitting behind who's answering, replying it?
So yeah, this is the whole point behind it, that to actually make it mass or available for the public, that we're trying to reduce the dependency on a human in managing the request, and actually automate the process.
Right.
It is not a switch that we will just press and we'll move from manual to automation. It's a process that it's a transformation journey that takes time. And we started. So as we speak, we have around 20% of our process automated. And we have a very solid plan that within the next 3 years, we will have 80% of our process automated.
So is there any technology you're using behind to manage the entire process?
Yeah, so for see the request, or it's not only about the chat, that we're seeing on WhatsApp, that's part of the chat. But so this is a chatbot. This technology is called the natural language processing.
Yeah, the chatbot you're using, right?
Exactly. This is the technology for the chat, and there are other different technologies or systems that are being used across the journey of the. So, for example, the chat is one part, and charging you online is a different technology. That's the payment gateway that you need to integrate with. Yeah. So I can't just sum it up and say this is the technology we're using. We're using different technologies for different steps of the order journey. Mm-hmm. The first one, the most obvious one to the customer, is the chat, because this is the one that the customer is seeing. But this is merely 10% of the order. There's a lot that happens behind the scene. Similar to imagine that you're ordering something from an e-commerce platform, Amazon or Noon. You just see the front screen, but there is a lot happening at the back end. There is warehousing, there is shipping, there is inventory management. So there is a supplier payment reconciliation. All of that happens at the back end. As a customer, you don't see.
All right. And do you have some understanding agreements with the supplier, or you just go randomly and find out the products which I needed? Or how you get the sourcing?
Yes, it's a very, very good question. One of the main principles behind Yanzo is that it's a learning curve. Right. With every deal, we source a new supplier, and then with the next request, if a similar request come, now I know the supplier. I have the supplier. I have tried him. So first time you will send us something new that we have never done before, I'll have to go and source a new supplier immediately. But if I have done this order before for a different customer, now I already know the supplier. I have an arrangement with them. We have done a quality feedback from the previous customer. Again, similar to Uber and Careem, after you finish the ride, you will put a 5 stars. So we'll ask you, did you like the order? Did it meet your expectation? Is this what you were looking for? Any default in the item that was delivered? And based on that, we start rank the suppliers. Yes. So and with and then we on a frequent basis we'll start see volume analysis. If we're dealing with this supplier heavily, then we'll start to focus on getting different sort of arrangement with them.
Right. Now you've said that you are three founders who started it. So anyone out of three was having a technical knowledge or from IT background, or they were not?
Yes. The three founders were. See, the three of us were actually engineers who met in a bank. So we're very good with the technical knowledge. We're very good with the operational dimension of the business. We had I would say a skill gap when we started in the commercial part of the business, in the marketing, the sales, and surprisingly and luckily, it was not a showstopper at all, because the main driver for growth for us was word of mouth.
Right.
We were really happy that, and I would say somehow lucky that we tackled a need in the market, that customers enjoyed it. They started telling their friends, and this is why we were growing. It's word of mouth. So we started by telling our friends. On the very first month of operation, we had 20 customers, which is our friends. They liked it. They started telling their friends. They started telling their friends, and now we have more than 3,000 customers.
Very good. And while building this chatbot, did you build yourself, or you took some help from internal consulting company or some outsourced or resources, or how?
No, we didn't build it ourselves. We have developers on the team, but we also used already available infrastructures. So Amazon and Microsoft and Oracle and IBM, all of them have already used ready available infrastructures that you don't need to rebuild the whole thing from scratch.
Right.
You start from where they ended, and they ended somewhere pretty good. So you build over their technology. You take their infrastructure and start developing over it, so it will give you it will fit the exact need of your service. But they have all of these vendors I mentioned. They have an amazing, strong infrastructure that no way you will be able to beat, given the size. So I'd rather use their infrastructure, especially on the chatbot part, and build over it and move forward with our technology.
So who played a role selection of chatbot? Did your developer, or did you guys did some research or have done some work on it? So how you arrived that this is a chatbot which will fulfilling my requirement, or this is a platform?
Yes, the research, a lot of research, a lot of reading, a lot of demo downloads and testing. We did this ourselves. And a lot of communicating with other companies who have used the service and these platforms and gave feedback. So there is a lot of research to be done into that. Given that we were exploring something new, I'd assume if we had someone in the team, new for us at least, if we had someone on the team who had the chatbot technical expertise from day one, it definitely would have been easier and shorter for him or her. But given our expertise, we had to learn it ourselves, and this included the typical learning process: do your research, ask, and get the feedback from previous experiences. And then
And if you don't mind, can you share the name chatbot or which platform or technology you're using?
I'd rather keep this as the secret.
No, yeah, that's okay. And okay, now while you were starting it, so what's one thing you wish that before starting this one? If you will summarize it, what is the one thing you mentioned? This may be a chatbot, but as a whole, this business scenario, what's the one thing, if you will narrow down, that you wish you should know before starting?
It's definitely not one thing, but yeah, if I'm taking 2-3 steps back, I'd say, technology is important, but technology is a tool.
Right.
Yes, it's actually finding the right value proposition for the customer and positioning your service to fit the customer need. I know this might sound somehow subjective, especially for someone who would be coming from a technical background. You need the numbers and figures, and you need to see the Excel sheets, and you need to see the workflows, so you decide if it's working or not. But actually, the sales and marketing part, we were lucky with it. However, it's not easy. You need to find the right value proposition, the right communication approach with the clients, build what sort of a relationship do you have with your customers, even when you're dealing with mass customers. So Yanzu is not one-to-one service. You're dealing with technology at the end of the day, but what type of relationship, how can you nurture this relationship to make sure that your customer is happy and coming back and referring you to his friends? I would say this is the hardest part. There is a second part. There is a second side of the coin. Is the how to manage growth. And I'm sure the timing of this podcast is interesting, given that we're all sitting at home and COVID-19 was an unexpected event that happened with everyone. I would say this is a key learning for us, that we have been growing on 40% month on month before COVID-19, which is a very healthy, interesting growth rate.
Right.
But when in March and April we're doubling our volumes, we're growing 100% month on month, and this is it's very good. It's an amazing growth rate. I would love to see it happening over and over. But there is this huge growth as well has its own
challenges.
Yes, challenges and drawbacks. We didn't have the capacity, and we still don't have the capacity to manage all of our customers, all of our new requests, I would say. So we didn't see this coming, and not only us, no one saw this coming.
No one
we didn't have the capacity for that, and now we have to be very, very, very fast in reacting and building the capacity and building the supplier, increasing your supplier database, increasing your partnerships, enhancing your technology to manage higher volumes, and growing the team. All of that needs to be managed simultaneously. So I would say agility, or the ability to move fast and react to the situation, is a key. Is the key highlight of the current timing we're in.
Mm-hmm. So that's a good example you have given, that COVID-19 draw a major shift of your, and one is, okay, you're growing, but eventually you need to manage all the aspects of that growth, how you can deliver the service, how you can meet the demand, and supply chain, supplies, and everything. Well, that's a wonderful point, keeping in the current scenario. So how long you've been doing this stuff? When you started this? A year, 2 years back, 3 years?
The time I just mentioned, the story I just mentioned, that the three of us were studying and overworking and we didn't have the time. This happened in 2016, so it was long ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It took us one of the challenges, for example, I'll mention, or on the tech side, that I mentioned that we had competitors or someone who's doing similar services in the US and Europe.
Right.
And yeah, they are dependent on SMS.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
When we thought of how to bring this to the UAE, we knew that WhatsApp is going to be the key channel that to be used. So this took time for us to figure out how to connect with WhatsApp. It took time to figure out how to manage this without building your technology on WhatsApp. So you can integrate with different ticketing system or with different texting systems. If tomorrow Twilio is the leading texting channel,
Yeah.
I don't want to go shut down and build a new technology on Twilio. So we built our technology separate from all of the texting platforms, and now it's the integration with each of them is one of the growth opportunities for us. I'm sorry, I took your questions in a different direction.
No, that was right. That was fine. There's no need to. Sorry, that was fine, because you rightly took it in that right direction. Now, this was challenging when you studying, and then you started it in last couple of years. So how you rate it from a favorite failures, or maybe which you had a failure or a parent failure, and then it led you to the success. So any those challenges or which you faced when from during this journey?
Yes, of course. So I see. We never as a team, we never saw any of the challenges we had as failures. I don't know. Now that you mentioned the word failure, it was ringing a bell. Did we ever had a meeting and say we failed? We never had this. We always saw it as there is something happening. We know that we're doing something new and no one did it before. So at least in the region, and even whoever is doing it in different regions, they're still learning as we do. They're a couple of years older than us. They're not. It's not a 20 years old company or a 20 years old idea. So we're learning, and we thought it's let's take it step by step. If we can dissect the process and break it down into smaller pieces, we'll always be able to tackle every piece at a time.
Yeah, please.
So I was just going to say that one major learning, it's that nothing happens overnight. You will never wake up and find the answer to the $1 million question. It's a very, very, very gradual process, and you have to take it step by step. I know we're all fascinated by the overnight successes of major or big businesses, but the statistical probability of overnight success is very, very low. You would be lucky if you get it, but don't plan your life based on that. And nothing beats hard work. So we've been growing, we're doing well, and we're getting traction and all of that because of hard work. Nothing happened overnight. So we've been doing this for I told you, we had ideas in 2016, and we've been working on it aside our 9 to 6 job for so long that this is what got us to this place we're in today. I'm not planning. I don't think that we'll ever have a sudden increase or surge in valuation from 1 million to 100 million overnight. It is a step-by-step process, and we have to be very agile and smart in taking it forward.
Yeah, and I think you rightly said that the startup mindset and the founders, this differentiated that whatever coming up, you're not naming it as failures or challenges. Those are challenges, part of the business, and that's you're overcoming that. You're meeting, you're re-strategizing it, you're reworking on it. Okay, what's next? How we can move into that situation? And I like that one, being working on as a new business owner. Now, something on the personal side. So, any book which you read or which influenced your life, or you want to recommend to someone, if you want to read some books?
On the business side, of course.
Or any business side, personal side, any book which inspire you or you want to recommend to someone?
Yeah, on the business side, of course, the most popular book for startups is The Lean Startup. I'm a strong believer in the material end, and from 0 to 1. These are I would say my most startup relevant books that I do use on daily basis when I think about how to tackle any business. When the whole team, actually, it's not me. It's not one man show. You have to keep this in mind that it's a big team, and the team is every single person, if is not working hard enough and contributing to the maximum, it's never one man show. It's never one person. At least for me, never one man show, never one man person. So the fact that the whole team read the same book and we believe in the same material in the book. So I think this is one of the interesting parts as well. So the lean, answering the book's question, the lean startup and from 0 to 1, I think these are very, very interesting books.
Very good. And what advice would you give to a smart, a new college student about if you wanted to enter a real world, or what advice they should ignore, or what is your suggestion while you are studying also, that if someone, a new fresh graduate, want to start something or want to do it, what's your advice on
that? Do it. As simple as that. If you want to do something, do it and go and take the risk. Don't shoot yourself in the foot, of course, but yeah, take the initiative and move on. I'd say you only live once, so you better enjoy it and do the thing that would make you happy. So if you feel that you want to do your own business and you see the idea and you see it's valuable, go and do it. Vet the idea with professionals, vet the idea with people who you trust and value, but definitely go and do it. If you feel that you want to take a career and take a career, a stable and growing career, this is the right thing to you. There is nothing better than the other. You only have to find out what would make you as a person happy.
Right. Now, while starting a business, where you listen a lot of recommendations, suggestions from colleagues, friends. So, what are the some bad recommendations you hear when you were doing all this one, or what are the recommendations or some type of things we should ignore it while doing a business?
See, I would say it's very popular. It's very common that people will tell you this is never gonna work. Right. What you're thinking, it's very, very, very common, and maybe you'll hear it from people who, as I just said, people who you value or close to you or who you look up to. If you have this belief deep inside you that it's gonna work, don't drop it. Give it a shot, and try to manage. So if you feel it's too risky, try to take it next to do two things at the same time, just to balance and see which one of them is picking up and if your business is really making sense or not. But this is one of the advices that I got and I didn't like. Don't do two things in parallel. If you have plan B, plan A is already a failure. I don't believe in that. At least personally, this is not the case. I had plan B and plan A, and both of them are working well. So you can always stretch and move forward if you want to. If you, of course, when you know your limits, you know your how much you can take. Based on that, you decide to split the effort.
All right. Now, coming back to your business model, so if I'm a consumer and I approach you, so do you charge me some fee, or from where you are earning? Are you charging to the supplier, or you're charging to the consumer, or is it a fixed fee, or is it varies based on the service?
Both. It's variable based on the service, and we charge the supplier and the client. So Yandu is a middleman.
Right.
Between the supplier and the client, and we do some sort of a bidding
with the suppliers.
Yes, with multiple suppliers. One of these bidding criteria is: are you giving our customer the best deal in town or not?
Right.
So yeah, this is what we're trying to do this on your behalf as a customer. So from the customer point of view, currently we're taking a margin per transaction, and this is dependent or decided based on the complexity of the order. I'll give you the closest reference, which is Kareem and Uber. When you take the ride, they, based on the duration and the stoppage time and basically and the mileage, this is how do they decide on the pricing of the trip.
Right.
We have a very similar algorithm based on the number of suppliers and based on the complexity of the order. So if you're asking us to do a simple pickup and drop off, that's a simple order. If you're asking us to help you throw a birthday party, so this is a complex order with multiple suppliers. We need to get catering, we need to get tables, we need to get a show. So that's a complex order. So based on the complexity of the order, the margin changes. From the client point of view, the margin ranges from 5 to 15%. 5 is the lowest, and 15 is for the most complex orders. And it also reduces with the increase of the ticket value. So if you're asking me to buy you a business class flight for 15K, the margin will reduce. It will not be 5%. It will be lower than that, because 5% of 15K is a huge margin for the customer. So it have a floor and ceiling as well.
Right. And now this process is it automated? Have you developed some application, or is it manual?
From the customer point of view,
from your internal process point of view. I mean,
yes, we have developed. So this is what I'm telling you. We've developed 20% of the automation so far.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're still working on it. So it's a long journey.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. All right. I think, thank you so much, Tariq. Now, if our audience or they want to reach to you, and where they can reach you, what's your website address, or how you want to conclude with your final remarks? How's your?
Yes, they can always reach. So our website is yanzo.com. This is the business website. My personal email is tariq.osman@textyanzo.com, and they can always reach me over email. We'll be happy to connect.
Thank you so much, Tariq, for sharing your journey with us. And we wish you good luck. And I think with the COVID-19, this is the right time where your business model fits to the requirement, to the customers. And I believe the way everyone is facing the challenges of some are struggling with the business, they need to expand themselves. So I think you're in the right fit to where you have to overcome those challenges, that how to deliver the service. That's absolutely great.
Thank you so much for having me, and take care.
Thanks for listening to this session with our guest speaker on the digital assistants chatbots and his journey, how he's running his business, how he has started it. Chatbots primarily use intelligence to talk to people and give relevant contents or suggestions. They can function based on a set of instructions or use machine learning. A chatbot can, based on rules. It's all based on the machine learning and understand the intent, utterance, and then respond you back. That's one of the most promising emerging technology which have already started using by different organizations. And with COVID-19, the exploration is reaching to the top. Thank you so much for sharing your feedback with us. I love to hear and read your comments, feedback. Please keep visiting otechtalks.tv. That's the session podcast, which is your weekly sandbox, primarily on the weekend, which is being recorded as part of community program or a community initiative to learn and share with each other. And have already mentioned a number of times that this session is, or the whole purpose of doing all this session is to learn and share. And it's there's a very clear disclaimer on that there is nothing to do with my previous, current, and future employers. It's just to learn and share with each other. And I'm very, very honored and humbled that being a very, very good listener or loyal listener or fan who keep sharing their feedback with me. And I'm keep improving myself and keep striving to learn more and share with each other. That's why we have started inviting these guests from last 3-4 sessions, and we will keep doing it. Just head over to otechtalks.tv, and under the podcast, you can listen your favorite sessions, your favorite episodes. There are till now we have covered or recorded 70 plus sessions. If you're new to the show, most welcome. This is a weekly sandbox which is talking on the technology and latest trends, how-tos, and best practices. And if you are already listening, thank you so much for sharing your feedback. Please do visit the iTunes and then share your rating, leave a comment, or at least provide some stars rating over there, so that it will help to rate or get better rating on the iTunes store. Once again, thank you so much. Have a blessed life, and we will be going back to our normal life very soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to the O Tech Talks podcast, and be part of Tech Talks at otechtalks.tv. It's a turf to share ideas, insights, and innovations.